Welcome everyone. My name is Muhammad ZULHELMI bin Mohdr Rasool. Today we're going to see one of computer crime security. What is hacking and the impact on our digital life? First off, what exactly is hacking? Is it just unauthorized access to computer and network? Exactly. Hacking can be malicious or non-malicious, but it's often linked to illegal activities like data theft. What are some of negative consequences of hacking? There are several. For starters, it can lead to violation of privacy. Hacker can steal sensitive information, which can result in identity theft or blackmail. What about financial losses? Hacking can cause direct theft, like online scam, and indirect losses, such as reputational damage and legal penalties for businesses. And what about the psychological effect on victim? Victims often experience stress and fear, especially vulnerable groups like the elderly and teenagers who may not recognize the warning sign. So, how can we prevent hacking? First, we need to secure our home network. This means using strong password and enabling WPA3 encryption for our internet connection. What else we can do? Educating the community is very crucial. We should raise awareness about cybersecurity and organize workshops to inform people. Next is about software update. Regular software updates are vital. They fix security weakness spot on connection that hacker can exploit. What about password? They should be strong, right? And yes, strong passwords are our first line of defense. Using complex combination and change them frequently can avoid them from hacker using brute force. Next, but not least, we also conduct security audit, especially for company. Regular security audit help identify and fix flaws in system before hacker can exploit them. Lastly, we need to keep in touch on antivirus software. Using antivirus and anti-malware software is also important. They can detect and eliminate malicious software that hackers use to gain access. Lastly, two-factor authentication. Is that also important? Yes. Two-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security. Even if a hacker get your password, they will need a second form of verification to access your account and device. And by taking this step, we can safeguard our digital environment and reduce the risk of hacking. Now, let's move to the topic 2. As a developer of application, I must register my application as intellectual property. First thing we need to know, what is intellectual property, or we call it as IP. IP function as license on trademark, copyright and patent and design. This is important for IP to software developer to protect their creation from theft or duplication. In Malaysia, the registration IP process can be done with the Intellectual Property Corporation of Malaysia, or in short we call it as MyIPO. To get that step-by-step process we must follow for registration intellectual property in Malaysia. Alright, let's see to the step 1. Step 1 is about registration with MyIPO. First thing we need to do is visit the official MyIPO website and find the registration link. As the picture below, we can see whenever user can choose whenever he want for individual or agent for company. After that, we need to complete the registration form with personal or company details. And after that, submit the form and verify your email to activate your MyIPO account. For the second step, after registration is done, we need to access the MyIPO portal. First thing we need to know is to log in into your MyIPO account using the registered details. After that, navigate to the IP registration section to choose the appropriate category like patent, trademark, industrial design, or copyright. After done it, let's go to the step 3. In this step, we need to conducting an IP search. Perform a search for exacting IPs to ensure your idea is unique and does not conflict with already registered IP. In this step, we need to analyze search result to confirm the validity of your IP. Alright, let's go through to step 4. In this step, we must preparing the application. What we need to do? In this step, gather all necessary documents and information for application, including description, drawing, and example of framework application. This also we need to ensure all forms are filled out accurately to avoid rejection or delay, and make sure form CR1, CR2, and CR3 are complete before submitting. After all form that we need to fill is already done, let's go to the step 5. In this step, we need to submitting the application. By complete the online application on my IPO system, attaching all relevant documents, send it to email agent who handle with registration form. After that, verify all entries before proceeding to the payment session. In the payment session, make the registration fee payment using accepted method like credit card, debit card, or on internet banking. After all payment is already done, we go to the following step, which is following up on the application. Track the status of our application through the My IPO dashboard. With this section, we can see the response promptly to any required from My IPO examiner to facilitate the review process. After following step and the last step, we can receive approval. Upon successful review, we can receive an approval notice from My IPO. In this section, we can obtain a numerous certificate that confirm your IP and protected under Malaysian law. In conclusion, IP is an important registration process to safeguard our innovation. This is also can ensuring developer and protect their software effectively. Let's move to the topic 3, which is privacy and surveillance. As technology advances, the method of monitoring individual and group has been changed. With that change, the important question about our right and freedom is increased. What is exactly surveillance? Surveillance is defined as a systematic monitoring or tracking of individual, group, orchestration, or data to gather information, monitoring behavior, or acquire intelligence. This can be conducted by government or businesses and even private citizens using various tools such as camera, electronic device, and internet activity tracking. While surveillance is often justified for security and order, it raises significant concern about privacy violation and potential abuse. Surveillance can be categorized into several types based on method and purpose. First type we can see is physical surveillance. This involves direct observation of individual or location, often used by investigators to follow suspects. Next, electronic surveillance. This method employs gadgets like GPS tracker and cameras to collect data in both public and private space. Third one is computer surveillance. This technique monitors a person's computer use, including email and internet history. Next is social media surveillance. Investigators can track social media activity to gather information about suspect contact and interest. Next is financial surveillance. This involves monitoring financial transactions to prevent misconduct like money laundering and scam. The last is biometric surveillance. This uses physical traits such as fingerprint or facial recognition for identification. And now, what example we can see of surveillance? Let's take some common example of surveillance. One is CCTV. CCTV widely used in public area and businesses to monitor activities. Next is social media monitoring. Companies and government track behavior on social media platform. Next is GPS tracking. GPS tracking used for logistics and law enforcement to monitor vehicle movement. Next is internet surveillance. Website track online behavior through cookies and browsing history. And lastly is facial recognition. Employee in public space for security purpose is using this biometrical technology, which is fingerprint and face recognition. And now, can employer monitor employee computer activity? The answer is yes, but it comes with legal and ethical consideration. Here are some methods employees use to monitor their employees. First is employee monitoring software. This software tracks how employees spend their time, including keystroke logging and screenshot. Next is time and attendance software. This tracks when employees work and take time off, ensuring accurate payment. And next one is video surveillance. Camera in the workplace enhance security and monitor employee behavior. And next one is GPS system. Used in transportation to monitor driver safety and optimize route. And lastly, biometric technology. System that use fingerprint or facial recognition for timekeeping and access control. Now, let's discuss government surveillance. Is that government also have this surveillance issue? And yes, government do spy on their citizens, often citing national security or law enforcement as justification. Here are some examples. First one is mass data collection. Programs like MySejahtera allow government to collect data from major health companies without consent. Next is facial recognition, widely used in countries like China to track citizens in public space. Next is phone tapping. Government may tap phone line of suspected individual. And lastly, social media monitoring, used to track potential threat or dissent, especially in illegal activities. In ethical issue, surveillance raises several ethical concerns. First one is the invasion of privacy. This can convert monitoring intruders on personal life. Next is consent. Ethical surveillance should involve informed consent from those being monitored. And third one is data security. Collected data can be misused, leading to identity theft or discrimination. Next is surveillance overreach. Excessive surveillance can limit freedom of expression. And lastly, discrimination and profiling. AI and facial recognition system can lead to unfair targeting of certain groups. So, what can individuals do to block or prevent surveillance? Here are some steps. First one is use encryption. Encrypt communication to protect data from interception. Next is virtual private network, VPN. A VPN hides your IP address and encrypt internet traffic. Next is secure device. Secure device by using strong password and multi-factor authentication. And lastly, avoid public Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi networks are often unsecure. By using a VPN, we can secure our line from being surveillance. For the next topic, we will explore a critical aspect of technology, which is computer reliability. As computer becoming increasingly integral to various chipsets, understanding their reliability is important for ensuring safety, efficiency, and trust in technology. Reliability in computer system is crucial because computers play a central role in modern society. They are function for performing complex tasks, improving access to information, and creating new job opportunity. By that, people trust computer to work consistently. Most people think computer is very reliable, but let's talk around about consequences of unreliable system. For example, consider the healthcare sector. If computer malfunction and display incorrect information during critical moment, the consequences can be disaster. For example, imagine an electronic medical record, or we call it as EMR system, showing the wrong pattern vital during surgery. Such error could lead to significant financial loss, and the worst case, result in tragic loss of life. Before, ensuring the reliability of computer system is not just important, it is vital for safety and well-being for individual and society. And now, let's talk around about the real-world example. In 2006, Lorenzo system crashed in UK and has affected active medical trust, forcing a return to the paper record and increasing human error risk. And the second is, in 2007, a Vista system failed in Sacramento VA facility, resulted in delayed surgery and treatment. In this surgery, they are highly reliant on technology, but they all fail. And now, let's talk around about the causes of failure. This failure often happens from poor planning and management. In both of NHS and VA cases, issues come from system configuration error. For instance, the enhanced Lorenzo system malfunctioned due to the incompatibility of software in storage device, while the VA's problem were caused by untested network modification. This incident highlights the importance of better management in complex IT systems. Now, let's shift our focus to mobile phone. The reliability of mobile phone has evolved significantly from the era of Nokia and BlackBerry into Android and Apple device. Here, comparison of all era mobile phone and modern smartphone. From our point of view, we can see the old era phone prioritize their durability, offering long lifespan and easy repairability. But modern smartphones offer advanced features, but their complex system can lead to performance issues day by day. In summary, all-era mobile phones had advantage in durability and long battery life, often lasting 7 to 12 years. In contrast, modern smartphones offer advanced features and high performance but come with reliability trade-offs, such as easy break and need to regular update. Manufacturers often limit software update to around 5 years due to hardware constraint. Let's go to the last topic. In this topic, I will use MySejahtera app as example. MySejahtera designed to track health information for millions of users in Malaysia, serves as a prime example of the ethical responsibility that software engineers must uphold. This summary explores the four main principles of professional ethics, which is public responsibility, client and employer, product reliability, and judgment. First thing we need to see is about public responsibility. When creating health-related application, engineers must be aware of how they will affect the general population. The MySejahtera app provides important services such as booking checkup, appointment schedule, and vaccine distribution. Therefore, the app must deliver accurate health information while this safeguard user personal data. A data must have implement security measure, ensuring that user data is collected, stored, and processed securely. This includes making the app accessible to all demographic segments, including individuals with disability. Next, let's talk about client and employer. Software engineer must also balance the demand of public with expectation of the client and employer. In the case of MySejahtera, primary stakeholders include governments, health and organizations involved in public health. Engineers are required to have friendly approach. Transparency is vital in this relationship. Engineers must communicate clearly about how the app functions and how user data will be utilized. By aligning the app development with the goal of public health initiative, engineers can ensure that their work support with community objective. Next is about product reliability. Another critical aspect of ethical software engineering is the reliability of product. Engineers must dedicate time to identify bugs within the application to ensure they perform many various environments. A reliable app is essential, particularly in health-related contexts where misinformation can have another consequences. The MySejahtera app, which can handle sensitive health data, require engineers to build secure infrastructure around this information. This involves employee encryption, authentication, and regular security checks to protect user data from unauthorized access. By prioritizing security, engineers not only safeguard user information but also increase user confidence in the application. And lastly is about judgment. Engineers must review critical access to technical and ethical implications of their decision, particularly when it comes to coding practice and data security measures. Responsible risk management is important. Engineers should identify potential risks early in development process and implement best practice to avoid them. This proactive approach helps prevent harm to users and ensure the app remains secure. Engineers must be willing to take responsibility for their action to any issue that arise, thereby reinforcing the integrity of the application is also important.